Hello viewers, and welcome back to the Stu's Tech Time channel, where we do tech reviews, give you tips for your tech, show you new tech and also some streaming apps. If that sounds like a channel that you would like, then consider subscribing and clicking the bell. Or if you don't want annoying notifications, then visit your subscription tab every time you start up the YouTube app, and if you're subscribed, then you'll see all my latest videos there. Right, so welcome back. This is part 2 of the buffering video. Now, if you haven't seen part 1 of the buffering video, it will be on screen now. I would suggest watching that now and then coming back. To be honest, it doesn't really matter because they're not connected, but they're both going to give you tips on how to eradicate buffering forever. So I'm going to stop talking now. Let's get on with part 2. Okay, now I mentioned interference before, and that's a big issue, especially for those who live in densely populated areas. Signals from other wireless networks can impact speeds, not to mention some cordless phone systems, microwaves even, and other electronic devices. Ever play with walkie-talkies as a kid? Well, I did. Right, you may remember how the units needed to be on the same channel in order for you to hear each other. And if you happen to be on the same channel as someone else close by, you could actually listen into their conversation. Well, it's the same with routers, as routers can switch across different channels when communicating with your devices. Most routers will choose the channel for you, but if your neighbouring wireless network are also using the same channel, then you're going to encounter signal congestion. A good router set to automatic will try to choose the least congested channel, but many cheaper routers will just choose a predefined channel, even if it isn't the best one. That obviously could be a problem. Now, on a Windows-based PC, you can see what channels neighbouring Wi-Fi networks are using. From the command prompt, type in what's on the screen now, and you'll see a list of all the wireless networks and the channels being used in your vicinity. For example, most networks use channels 6 and 11. In general, for 2.4 GHz, you want to stick to channels 1, 6 and 11, since they're the only ones that don't overlap with each other, which can degrade performance, so avoid that. 5 GHz generally uses non-overlapping channels, which should make selecting the right one much easier. So if you find the auto setting isn't working well for you, sign into your router's administration interface, head to the basic wireless category and try selecting one manually, ideally one that isn't in use by many networks in your area. See if that provides a better signal and faster speeds over the automatic setting, and obviously keep in mind that channel congestion can change over time, so if you choose a channel manually, you may want to check in once in a while to make sure it's still the best one. This really only applies if your router uses an internal antenna. Adding an external one can be a good idea. Adding an external antenna tends to send a stronger signal. Your router may actually come with antennas you can add on yourself, but if not, or if you threw them away, many router manufacturers sell antennae separately. In many cases, you can choose between omnidirectional antennas, which send a signal in all directions, or directional ones which send a signal in one specific direction. Most built-in antennas tend to be omnidirectional, so if you're buying an external one, it should be marked high gain to actually make a difference. A directional antenna tends to be a better option, as odds on you aren't experiencing weak spots in every direction, just in one direction, so that's the better option. Point your external antenna in the direction of your weak spot and it will broadcast the signal accordingly. Check your router's manufacturer's website for details on what to buy. Right, so if all the other tips have failed, then maybe it's time to invest some cash and set up a wireless range extender. Because all the tips and tricks in the world won't help you if you've got 12-inch thick walls like some old houses do, or perhaps you live in a really big house. Just remember that thick walls is Wi-Fi kryptonite. Just bear that in mind. So, all routers are only capable of broadcasting reliably up to a certain distance before the signal gets weak, and if you want to extend your signal beyond that, you'll need a range extender of some sort. Now, range extenders can look similar to standard routers, but work differently. For starters, they pick up the existing Wi-Fi signal from your wireless router and then simply rebroadcast it. Now, as far as your network router is concerned, the range extender is just another client with an IP address, much like a laptop. Even though it's not a router, you can still use the same rules for figuring out placement. The extender should be just close enough to your main network router to pick up a solid signal, but also close enough to the weak spot so that it can do its job, which is extending that signal. Now, the extended signal will almost never be as good as the original, but let's face it, it's better than nothing. So if you can connect your extender with Ethernet or using your house's electrical wiring system instead of wirelessly, it will do the job much better. Now, you don't need an extender that is the same brand or model as your existing router, though in some cases, extenders with the same brand may offer extra features. Above all else, make sure you pick one that can broadcast an equivalent signal. Don't buy an 802.11n extender if your router is on 802.11 AC. Range extenders help bring connectivity to dead zones, but wireless range extenders usually provide about half the bandwidth you'll get from your primary router. Plus, they often require separate management from 2 different administration pages and can even force you to use 2 different SSIDs, which, let's face it, can be annoying. But if you want seamless connectivity everywhere in your home, manageable from one simple smartphone app, then maybe you should consider upgrading your whole network to a mesh Wi-Fi system. I have a mesh Wi-Fi system in my house. Now, these are designed to cover every corner of your home. Mesh Wi-Fi systems aim to replace your router rather than just extend it. You'll connect one node directly to your modem, then place one or more satellite nodes around your house where you think is necessary. The resulting setup blankets your house with a single wireless network, which uses just one password and just one administration interface. Now, this usually comes in the form of a mobile app. Now, lots of mesh Wi-Fi systems will even upgrade your firmware automatically, but not always, so make sure you check. The downside, well, yeah, it's a big one. Mesh Wi-Fi systems, they are not cheap. Think £300, £400, £500, especially if you've got a large home which require multiple nodes. But if you're in the market for a new router anyway, they might be well worth considering as an alternative. Now, if you want to watch a video on mesh Wi-Fi that I've been using for about a year now, then click the little eye on the screen and you will be directed to that video. I must admit, I do recommend a mesh Wi-Fi if you can afford it. So that's it. That's my tips on how to improve your Wi-Fi to eliminate buffering forever. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget, if you like this video, click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I hope to see you in the next one. So, stay frosty. Bye-bye.